Hello everyone, so this will be a start of a new series where I will be trying to create the snake game in Python using pygame library. Okay, so to start, we first need to uh, install the pygame library, and to do that, just simply go to their website, the pygame.org here, and then click on getting started. And this is how you install pygame. So we have here the Windows operating system and the Mac operating system and Unix and others here. You can just choose the operating system that you use and follow the instructions. So I'm using Windows. I will copy this here and paste it on my Windows PowerShell or command prompt. So doing this will install Pygame into your device, and if it prints out this one, which means that um, I have already installed pygame. So if you run this code and haven't installed it, you just have to wait a couple of minutes for it to install. And so to verify that you have installed pygame, just simply type Python and then type import pygame. Okay, and if it print out this, it will mean that you have successfully installed pygame. Okay, so let me exit out of this and clear the screen. Okay, and go back to Atom. Okay, so let's start our file with importing the pygame. So it's as easy as typing import and pygame. This will import the pygame library, and another thing that we need to do is to initialize the pygame. So just type pygame.init, and if you want to know the function, just go to their website, and I have here the pygame website, and here we have the function pygame.init, and it basically initializes all imported pygame modules. So if you want to use anything in pygame, you need to first run this code. Okay, so next let's create a display. So I have here the pygame.display page, and what we're looking for is the set mode function. Um, Here the pygame display.set mode, and it will initialize a variable, a window or screen for display. So if you click on it, it will show you all the attribute that it require. So it have the size, flag, depth, and display, and all this stuff. So I will just simply run it by typing pygame dot display dot set mode, set underscore mode, and bracket, and in here I will, and you need to put two bracket here, and in the bracket you initialize the width and the height. So normally I just use 500 and 500. Okay, so we here this code will create a display that have the width 500 and the height 500. So let's try to run this code, and the file name snake.py, and as you can see, it pop up for a second here, the window. So why did it just simply pop up for a second? It's because the code just run like this, and there's nothing here, so it simply exit out of the program. So let me just create a while loop here, while also create a new variable called game on equal true. Okay, and here while game on, we run all of these, and then okay, so another important stuff that you need to do in pygame is that you need to write this code for event in pygame.event.get and the colon. So this is the for in loop that I have already explained, and this is the event, the value, the thing that we don't have to initialize. So it can also be just any word that you want, but let's keep it as event to actually make sense. And so here the pygame.event thing, let's check the website to understand what it actually means. Okay, so here pygame.event, and we're calling the get function. So here it just simply get events from the queue. What does this mean is just simply get the event of everything that you're doing in while the pygame is running. So this is important because we want to check the event for when we close the window. Okay, so if the event type is pygame.quit, then it will quit out of the loop. So it will change this. It will change the game on into a false, and game on is a boolean, so it can either be true or false. And when we change it to false, when it go into this while loop, it will check the condition of the game on. And since the condition will be false, it will break the loop and exit. So another thing that we need to do is after we exit the loop is that we need to quit pygame dot quit. So let's check the pygame here. In this, we have the init, and we also have the wait um oh it's I think oh here the init, and we also have the quit, which just is basically the opposite of the init, so it just simply uninitialize all the pygame modules. So this should be at the end, and this should be at the start of the program. Okay, so in here we just simply check the if when the user open the display and have any event that will prompt the pygame.quit, which is the close button, the cross this one, like this one. Okay, so we also need to uh, update the display, and let's check what update means. So here we have display.update, which simply update portion of the screen for software display. So what does this mean? Well, just simply update the screen. And so let me just show the example. So let's run this for now. And so here, as you can see, it's just an empty screen. There's nothing in here. And when we create a square rectangle, for example, here with this pygame.rect here. Oh no, it's wait, it's actually pygame.draw. Yeah, and here in the pygame.draw, you can draw a rectangle, polygon, circle, ellipse, and all this stuff. So I will just use the rectangle for now. So like click on it, and it will tell you the attribute. Okay, so let's type pygame.draw.rect and bracket. So in the first element that we need is the source, as it explained here, the surface. The surface is simply the display, so it's this one. But we to keep things from repeating itself, let's just give this into a variable. Let's say window equal this, so that we can use the window as the source for drawing the rectangle. Okay, so window, and then what's next is the color. Okay, so color is it runs. I mean, the color value is in RGB, so it have the first element here, the 0, 0, and 0. So this will be the R, the red, the green, and the blue. So I'll just make my rectangle red. So I will put this 255 and 0 and 0. So when we draw the rectangle, it will be drawn on the display here, this one that we create, and the color will be red. Okay, and the next attribute is a rect. And what is a rect? A rect is here. Simply it have the left, the top, the width, and the height. So I'll explain here. So a rectangle is like this, and in Pygame we just need the variable of this corner and this corner here. So we have this corner x variable and y variable, and the this one we will get from measuring the width and the height, width and height. So this we just have to input the width of the rectangle and the height of the rectangle. So let's start here, bracket, and we want, let's say we want the rectangle to appear at the top left corner of the screen. So we give it the value 0 and 0, and the width we want it to be 50, and height also 50. Okay, so let's try and run this code. Okay, it's not appearing. Why is it not appearing? It's because we didn't update the display yet. Let's check the update here. Pygame update, which update portion of the screen for software display. So it basically means that we need to update the screen if you want to if you want this rectangle to display. So let's run the display update thing. Pygame.display.update. Okay, let's run it again. And as you can see, we have here a red rectangle with the width and height equal to 50. So if I try to move it, there's no way that I can move it because it's just uh, it have the fixed value 0, 0, and 50, 50. So in order to start moving the rectangle, we need to change the position here. Because as you can see here, it's at the position 0 and 0. So to move it left, we need to decrease the position of x, this one. And to move it right, we need to increase that one. And to move it up, we need to increase this, decrease this one, because in Pygame, this one is 0 and 0, and it goes get bigger as it goes to the right, and the y position gets bigger as it goes down. So if y is equal to 0 here, y would be equal to like 400 or something down here, while the x position would be equal to 400 or something right here, around there. Okay, so we need to change this fixed value into a variable. Let's call it px, which stands for player x, and this one would be player y, py, and this is the player width, player w, and player height, ph. Okay, so let's initialize the variable up here. Px equal 0, py equal 0, pw equal let's make change it to 30 to make it a bit smaller, and this one also 30. Okay, so now we have the variable that we can change now. So one more thing that I want to show is the python.key features. So let's go to their website again, and here python.key. So we want to check for the key. So let's see what we have here. Okay, so we want to use this one, Python pygame.key.get underscore press. It will get the set of all keyboard button. So let's click on it to get further information. So here, let's copy this code and put it into our program. Okay, so we have here pygame.key.get press. So this will get all the state of the keyboard button. So let's store this information into a list variable. Let's store it in keys equal this thing. So now we have a variable list called keys, and it store all the here all the state of all the keyboard buttons. And if you check the button here, we have all the pygame constant, the k underscore backspace tab and stuff like that. But what we are interested in is this here, k underscore up, down, right, and left. It's the arrow key of the keyboard. Okay, so let's write a code that checks the keys list for the element k underscore up and here k underscore up, down, and right and left. Okay, so we start if keys list and pygame dot k k underscore up. Okay, so this will check the element in keys, the pygame underscore key, I mean the key up. So if the key up is if we actually press the key up, this value will become true, and then it will run this code under it here. But if it is false, it won't run anything. It just simply skip over it. Okay, so I just verifying, and so how do we move the position of the rectangle that we create here? Well, we can change the py position. So py, so like I said, pygame, to move up, you actually have to go into the negative direction. So this going down would be the positive direction, and going up would be the negative direction. So we have to minus equal this one, and let's say we minus equal the value 5. Okay, let's try to do this for now. Let's save and run it. Okay, close this and run it again. Okay, and I will press the key up. So nothing is working. And why is that? Okay, let's just fill it the rest for now to verify that it's actually the problem with the key and not the window. So let's copy and paste this 4 more times. Okay, and change this. So we have up and down, and key left and right. Okay, so up will be negative, so down will be positive. So we will add 5 into the py variable, while this one we change it into the px variable. So px would be negative for the left key and positive for the right key. Okay, let's save and close this and run it. Okay, I will move it to the right, and as you can see, it start moving, but it doesn't stop automatically, so it keeps on moving until there's like nothing left. So there's no way to retrieve it back because we didn't set any boundary. So when it runs, it's just continue on into infinity. So let's close this one, and let's check our code here. So we need to find a way to update the display, but if you read here, the display update thing, it just update portion of the screen for software display. So it doesn't update everything in the display. So to do that, we actually need to um, like we need to actually paint the background as a certain color. So I will paint the background as here. I will paint it here. So the background windows, I will paint it window.fill, and the color black, which is 0, 0, 0. Okay, let's save and run. Okay, and let's try to move down. Okay, as you can see, it just moved down, but it vanished because we didn't set the boundary. And also, it's because there's a thing called uh, time delay in Pygame. Because a program run very fast, so we need to actually delay the program so that we can actually, work with all the detail and stuff. So you need to manage the time delay, just simply write pygame dot time dot delay and bracket. So in the bracket here is the amount that you want to delay in millisecond. So 1000 would be 1 second, and 100 would be a fraction of a second. So I'll just keep it at 10. Okay, let's save and run this thing again. Okay, and as you can see now, it works a lot smoother and um, a lot better because it is not as fast as before, and it's a lot like more workable. Like uh, it's it actually works for now. So as you can see, we now have the character that we can move. It's okay. So next is giving it the movement. This is just a fixed variable. Again, like in the original Snake game, when you increase your point, your speed will also increase. So we need to change this into a variable. So let's say speed. Okay, these two speed and this speed. Okay, so we need to initialize a speed variable here. Let's keep it as 5 again to keep it constant. Okay, let's close and verify that it actually works. And as you can see, it works like before. So now I have shown you how to create a character, which is this one, the pygame.draw.rectangle function, and giving the character movement with these conditional statement and the key.press function. And this is just the event that. Okay, let me just start from the beginning and explain all of this. So we start with a import pygame function, which will import the pygame library, and then the pygame.init, which will initialize the module, like all the stuff that we need in pygame. You need to first initialize it, and then at the end we need to quit it. Okay, so this fourth line is the display. So if I didn't write this one, then when we run the code, there won't be anything to display. So we need to first create a display and set the width and height. This is the width and the height. Okay, and this is just the variable that we use in here. Okay, and this is just to keep the condition as true. And you might wonder, like, if this is just an infinite loop, why can't I just simply use true? Well, it's because if you use true here, and you want to use the function break here, it will just simply break out of the for loop and not the while loop. So it's a lot more complicated to use the break and true. So just simply use the game, like the value that I set here, like the game on or something that it's just a name. So you can set the name on of this thing by yourself. Like it can be any random string like this. It will also works. To prove it, let's close this and run. So see, there's nothing here. Like it worked the same. So this one have no impact over the code. So it's just a name. You can name it whatever you want. So I just simply choose game on. Okay, so that's my variable. And this is the time delay, which delay the program from running too fast. So it will delay the program for 10 milliseconds. And this will fill the window, so it will like set the background of our window as the color that we set here, which is black. And this one is just simply draw a rectangle on the source, on the what I forgot on here. Wait, no, here on the surface. So the surface, and this is the color, and this is the position, and the width and height. Okay, and this is just a function that gets we create a key list, and the list store all the element of the key that we have pressed and not pressed. So if the key is pressed, the boolean of the value will be true. and if it is not pressed, it will be false. And you can see here, if I press the key up, it will become true, and this code will run. But if it's false, it won't run. Okay, and the same for all these three. And this pygame.display.update just simply update the display so that you know what is actually going on. Like the display won't be just a random mess. It will actually update the display as according to the delay time. And this is just simply to quit the pygame. So for now, I have just simply teach you how to create a character and give it movement. So for my next video, I will teach you how to create a border in the frame, because if I try to run it again, as you can see, it just go out of the border. There's nothing to stop it. And I will also make the snake loop around the border. So when it goes here, it will actually appear right here. And if it goes up, it will appear from down here. So that will be the next video.